back.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Molly O'Brien, and this is Ava Gaudet. She's been away for a while, an actress in LA and New York, but you're local.
Yeah.
You're from Rhode Island, so we're happy to have you back in New England.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
I'm sorry that you have to be back in kind of this rainy gloom,
Yeah,
right?
we chose the perfect time of year to move back. It was like, you know, right in the dead of winter, snowstorms all the time.
Oh, what a bummer.
But it was nice. I mean, we were actually in LA for 10 years, so after 10 years of perpetual summertime, it was actually kind of refreshing. So
Perpetual summertime and perpetual traffic.
That's true.
So I'm sure it's kind of a relief to be back at home.
It is.
So tell us a little bit about your background and why you moved back. And we'll get to all your accolades and all the stuff that you've been in. But why did you decide to come back? Because, I mean, this is your home.
It is, yeah. I mean, besides the fact that I love it here, my entire family is all here. And my husband's entire family is all here. And we have a 1.5-year-old little girl now. So although we loved the lifestyle in LA and, you know, we loved everything about being out there, it just felt off to be so far away with our little one. We want her to be as close to our family as we were growing up. So, so now she's spending time with her grandparents and aunts and uncles all the time.
Fantastic.
It's awesome. Yeah.
That's great. And it will be so much better in the summertime, right? When you
Oh,
don't
yes.
deal with this. And
Totally. We see all these little parks and playgrounds, and we're like, pretty soon we can go play.
Oh, that's so great. Well, congratulations on your little baby, almost toddler.
Yes.
And being back. We're excited to have you. And the reason why we have you here is you are cast in a role, a new short film, and hopefully it will be a feature-length film.
Right.
So it's called The Extraordinary World of Cecily Blinkstop. And the producer of this film it's pretty neat. So I was reading about this. She's working on, if I scroll down to the goals of the movie here,
Sure.
80% of it will be all New England cast. And her goals are also 50% of the cast to be women, which I thought was fantastic. I thought, how cool is that? So tell us a little bit about your role in the film and what it's all about.
Okay. Well, the film is sort of an uplifting story wrapped inside a tragic story. So the family, I play Helen, the mother, and the family experiences a really horrible tragedy, and each family member copes with it in a different way. And, you know, my character copes with it in a very painful kind of way, and everyone has their own experience, but one of the daughters has an imaginary friend, and so we get to explore her world inside, you know, this experience, spending time with her friend and the joy it brings her. And so it's very you know, you're seeing kind of two different worlds at one time, and it's really beautiful.
Just the way it's set up, it sounds like it's going to be shot beautifully. Just the storyline behind it. And also, you don't look like you'd be old enough to have this little girl. I'm like thinking, what is that?
Trust me, I am.
Trust me. Thinking, you know what? But anyway, it looks like it'll be beautifully shot and really well done. Are you looking forward to being part of this project?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Jennifer's work is amazing. I've seen some of it already. I love her script. I just love the way she operates and handles her business. I mean, I've spent 10 years sort of in this professional world, you know, and to come back into a local market and seeing people running their ship the way she is, it's amazing. It's an amazing project to be a part of. And yeah, after talking to her and meeting a couple of the other cast members, although I still have yet to meet the ones playing my children, so I can't wait to meet them. Yeah. I just think that all across the board, it's going to be really well done, super professional, really passionate from every aspect. So I'm very excited.
And it's an interesting concept because it's going to be a short film, And she's actually won accolades for this. In 2014, won the grand prize, the New England Spotlight Ceremony, and for the 2016 Rhode Island International Film Festival. So, has already won accolades for this. So we already know it's going to be good. And you're shooting this short with the intention and the hopes that it'll be feature-length film.
Right.
And doing sort of like a fundraiser for it as well.
Yeah, exactly. On April 17th, we're going to start our crowdfunding. We're going to raise $25,000 for production costs, and the short film is going to be basically a proof of concept for the feature-length film. So I know by reading both versions of the script that after seeing the short film, it's beautifully concise, but I know people are going to want to know the full story. So it's going to be really great to see the finished version of the short film, because I know that people are going to definitely want to see the feature length, and I know we'll get support in doing that. So
what's it like to be part of something like that, to go in and to know that you're working to accomplish something more, to know that you're putting yourself out there and there's a possibility that it may or may not happen? It has to be pretty interesting and nerve-wracking, but exciting all at the same time.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's sort of, the way it works across the board in this industry. I mean, I think every time you put something out there, you're hoping that it will get to a certain place, and then once it gets to that place, you're hoping it goes a little farther. So I think the most important thing is always doing great work, always working with great people, and having, this kind of baby be as great as it possibly can, because you don't really know how far it will go. So it's just sort of how the industry works.
It's kind of how it is.
Yeah, you do something and you're behind it all the way, and sometimes it goes incredibly far, and other times you're continue to work to move this thing forward, and it's part of the excitement to me anyway.
And that's neat. And you so the film will be shot in Central Mass, which is kind of exciting, and again, different from working in LA or in New York. So what's that going to be like to work from people from your neck of the woods? I mean, I'm sure working in the industry for so long, you've met people from all over the place, but what's it kind of like to be kind of back in your hometown, back in your backyard, I guess?
Oh my gosh. So many things. The first thing that I think of is how quickly my accent comes back.
Oh, really?
I'm constantly fighting to say my R's. That's the hardest part. I
really
want to slip back and get casual,
you can, you're home.
I know, exactly. And everyone I hear it, that would happen to me actually, even when I was living in LA. I would come home for a visit and then I'd go back and people were like, what are you? Sorry, I just, But there's just so many great things. It really is this feeling of nostalgia and comfort and familiarity. And, like I said, to have the opportunity to be working on such great professional projects here in this area of New England, it's amazing.
That's really neat.
Yeah.
That's fun. So let's step backwards. And if you have any questions for Ava, I actually have... someone said they like you better as a brunette, so I don't know if that means your hair's dark or lighter. I don't know if that's a compliment. I think your hair color is lovely. I was just say, if you have any, your hair is very dark. I love it.
I do have some pictures of me with lighter brown hair, so maybe that's it. Yeah.
I don't know. But if you do have a question for Ava, let us know on our Facebook page, because I do have it pulled up right now, because I was asking if they had any questions for you to let us know, because I thought it'd be exciting since you're back.
Yeah,
to have people send in their questions.
Sure.
So let's go back and talk about some of your experiences, because you have done a lot of really neat things within your career. Let's talk about your time, and let's talk about how those things can really go into your experiences have made you into the actress that you are today. So let's talk a little bit about some of your past credits. One notably, I don't know, this little thing called Broadway. Just that time you spent on Broadway, no big deal.
Yes. Yeah, I kind of got my start in the New York theater world, just like a lot of little girls who want to get into this industry. I always dreamed of moving to New York when I graduated high school. That's just what I did. I always dreamed of being on Broadway and singing and dancing. And so when I was 18, I packed up, moved to New York. I was going to school, and I just started planting these seeds. And I think what's great about Broadway is the kind of open call. idea that they have. They basically will allow anyone to audition. And that's how I got in. I was not a union member. I didn't have representation. I didn't have an agent. I just kept auditioning.
Wow.
And eventually I got the national tour, and I went on tour for a while, and then I was on Broadway for a couple of years almost. And then that got the ball rolling on some other projects that was the reason why we ended up moving to LA.
So what would you say for people out there that are thinking, I want to be on Broadway? Like, would you suggest it? Do you think that was a good move for you, or a good move for everybody? Or?
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, I feel so fortunate to have had that opportunity. I mean, it is not an easy thing to do. It is very competitive. The best of the best, I feel, are the people who are working in that world, you know? So, yeah, I mean, I feel like if you have the work ethic and the stamina, because it's very challenging kind of work, 8 shows a week and, you know, never stopping, I say go for it.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that time, it has to be not only a physical but an emotional drain as well, to go out, not only the time. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, you see interviews with people who talk about performing on Broadway, but just the stamina that you have to put your heart and soul into a show day in, day out, night in, night out.
Right, yeah, it's very challenging. The show that I got into was Rent, and it was my favorite show of all time. So in many ways, it was like every time I got to the theater, I was living my dream. It was just amazing. But obviously, being on Broadway is very challenging. I think the material was challenging, and I was very concerned about my voice. And so even though I was performing for maybe a short period of time that day, unless I had 2 shows, my entire day was based on making sure that I was, you know, preserving my voice and drinking enough water and, you know, all those things, because it was so challenging, and it was my life. It was very important. So my whole life revolved around it, and that's really what you have to do in order to, you know,
put on a show.
Yeah, exactly. People pay big money.
It's all encompassing. Fascinating, and what an experience. And you actually you spent time locally as well. You were at Trinity Rep and Theater by the Sea, which is so neat as well.
Yeah,
so you have all this all-encompassing theater aspect.
For sure, yeah. That's what I love about coming back here. It was like, you know, this is kind of a local market, but it has a lot of amazing professional work being done here all the time, like this film, like Trinity, like Theater by the Sea. So it's a great place for me to come home to. I feel like there's tons of things for me to tap into while I'm here. So yeah, it's fun. It's really exciting.
Tell us a little bit about some of your TV credits, because I'm going through your bio and I'm like, oh, she was in that and that, and I remember that and that and that. Tell us about some of the TV work, because you said you went from Broadway, and you actually, that's kind of how you transitioned into LA.
Yeah, exactly. Some of the connections that I made while I was in Rent got me an amazing opportunity on a TV show that started filming in New York, and then it went to LA, and I kind of went with it just for the opportunity.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Sometimes you have to go where the job is.
Exactly, and you know, we just loved the lifestyle there, and we had never been to LA before that, so it was just a cool opportunity. We rode the wave, and so I worked for a while on a show called Ugly Betty. I played the next door neighbor. That was a really fun role, and I got to work on a lot of different, you know, guest star episodes here and there on NCIS, Private Practice, Mike and Molly, The X's, a few others. So yeah, it was really fun.
What's it like to be on a TV set? Is it one of those things where you are there all day, forever, or is it one of those you pop up and you're done?
No.
I feel like everyone always thinks it's such this glamorous life, when really it's kind of maybe not so glamorous.
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it's not, you know, you're not digging ditches. And even when it's like a long day, you can hang out at craft service and, you know, have a snack. It's not terrible. But yeah, they're very, very long days typically. There's a lot of waiting around. There's a lot of, you know, getting your hair and makeup done at 9 in the morning and not actually shooting anything until 1 in the afternoon. that's just kind of how it works. But to me, I don't know, I found it really fun. I loved working in television. It's a really cool thing, and it's so different than doing theater or being on Broadway, where you're basically doing this same show over and over again, and so you're finding like new and fun things to do with it every night. You have these like really strong relationships with people, and on TV it's so different. I mean, you're like, hi, how are you? I'll be playing your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you never see this person again, and you have 2 or 3 takes maybe to do this performance, and so it's very like fast and quick, and you just have to do it, and it's just very, very different, but it's cool.
That's very interesting to think that you might only get 2 or 3 takes to do something, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Sometimes it works like that, yeah.
And hopefully you get those takes.
Hopefully,
Hopefully
yeah.
you're in it, right?
Exactly.
Hopefully you made it work.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Which do you prefer? Is it hard to decide which you like better? Or, I mean, because one, you're singing, you're dancing, you're doing all this stuff, and the other one, I always think when I'm working on television or doing live medium, I always like the ability to be live because I feel like there's always more energy there.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's always nice to be able to record something because then if you mess up, you go back.
Right.
But it's almost, but then it's almost like, but if I mess up, then, what? Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that idea of if I mess up, in theater, it's sort of like if you mess up, it's a moment, it goes by. I mean, probably the people in the audience will remember it, but it's not recorded on, a medium for the rest of eternity that you can go on the internet and find, hopefully not. And then in television, it is sort of like that, but you are leaving it in the hands of everyone else, so the director and the editor and all those people sort of really have control of your performance. So you might feel like, oh, that take was really not good. I hope they use that other one. And they might choose something completely different, So it is still very much out of your hands. But as far as which I prefer, I mean, it's very hard to say. I love it all. That's why I've always sort of bounced around doing different things. And I like it all. And I know that's a lame answer.
And that's okay. And you're talented enough to be able to do it all. So fortunately for you, right? And when do you think we can expect to see the short be done? So as we kind of pull things together.
Yeah.
When do you think we can? Because filming starts here pretty soon.
Yeah.
When do you think we'll be able to see the short? Do you know?
I don't really know. I didn't know if you know that or not. It kind of depends on a lot of things, but hopefully, we won't have to wait too long.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll ask Jennifer, and we'll figure that out. And as we kind of close things down here, you actually have come from a very strong, talented artistic background, and you said you kind of have these roots. It's kind of in your blood. Your family has kind of encompassed this background as well. So, what's that been like growing up in that, and then being able to raise your own family in that?
Yeah, it's been really cool. It obviously really molded who I am. My father has been a working musician, his entire adult life. For as long as I can remember, certainly. And my mom is an actress, and she was a theater teacher at a high school for many, many, many years, and also a local actress herself. So she has performed in a lot of the theaters around here, and the community, we all know each other, it feels like. So, it's great to come back to it because it feels like a very large extended family in a lot of ways. Yeah. And it is definitely something I would love to pass on to my daughter as well. Although, do I want her to go into this as a career? It'll be up to her. I'll support it, but I won't push it.
That's a good answer. Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ava, for joining us. Let's take a quick picture so we can put it on Facebook. Cool. Ava Gaudet, she is going to be in the short and then hopefully feature film of The Extraordinary World of Cecily Blinkstop. And so we'll let you know when that comes out and becomes available for you to see. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. And we'll catch up soon.
Okay,
great.